Hello and welcome to a Sunday Reflection. My name is Paul Harvey and this is Life, Passion and Business. We're about helping you explore, finding your passion for life and the work that you do. But it's so much more than that. It's about finding clues to the big life questions. What does it mean to be successful? What is the meaning of life? If you're looking for more, then join me on this journey where together we will discover through interviews, tools and tips how to live life full of meaning, passion and purpose. Hello and welcome to a Sunday Reflection. So today I want to talk to you about this thing about resolutions. This is the thing, resolutions and goals. To resolute or not to resolute? This is a good question, isn't it? I'm sure your inbox is as full as mine is with all these kind of people saying, we need to start going. Push for 2021 and come up with your goals and get the plan out on the table, this sort of stuff. And I find it really frustrating. I find it really frustrating that people put this stuff out in the world every single year. We go through this cycle of how you must do it and how you are failing your business or failing your life because you have not done it in that way. And it's the same with the highly judgmental stuff that was knocking around about how one should be doing lockdown in 2020. You know, I put together a couple of events about lockdown, but it was purely as an offer. It wasn't necessarily saying you were right or wrong to do it. It was a choice. And the same with goal setting. It's a choice. Now, I've always had a thing about goals. I've always had a struggle with them. For many years, the reason that struggle was there is because I didn't actually know what I wanted. And to be honest, I'm not really big on things and on acquisition of stuff. So I was thinking about what am I going to say this year on a Sunday Reflection? What am I going to talk about in terms, because everyone's expecting this reflection about how we're going to do 2021. One of the things I said last week in my Sunday Reflection was that I think if you are going to set goals in 2021, they need to be flexible goals. They cannot be too rigid because we absolutely do not know how it's going to unfold. And we can make all sorts of predictions, but predictions tend to be wrong. And in this situation that we have found ourselves in 2020, no one guessed that situation. And and in the UK, we were told it would be over in 3 months. It wasn't, and it isn't. And I suspect it's not going to be over for 6 months to come. So maybe go easy on the big goals, but here's the thing. Okay. So if you are a goal-orientated person, well, I'm not talking about that. That's not quite what I mean really about being a goal-orientated person. What I mean, if you are someone that needs goals, please set them because they work for you. But the truth is, humanity as a whole doesn't really set goals. And the people that do, I need to get some figures. I don't remember the figures. I mean, there was some research done about on MBA students or something, and of a certain year group, 2% of the entire group were setting goals, and they followed those MBA students right the way through, and those 2% did better than anybody else because they were setting goals. But they just might be people that work well with goals. That's what I'm getting at, really. If you work well with a deadline, with a hard deadline like a goal, then maybe that's the thing for you to do. If you don't work well with it, then maybe it needs to be looked in a different way. Now, I've always worked with intentions, with my intention is in that direction. That said, I do use goals. I will set short-term goals occasionally, and I will set longish term ideas or thoughts or what directions I'd like to travel in. So here's my perspective on goals. I think goals are signposts. They are signposts on the journey. And part of the reason that goals work is that they're there to keep your ego busy. They're there to give your ego something to grip onto. Because at the end of the day, the whole process of life is about the journey. It's not about the outcome. It's about what you learn on the way, on the journey towards an outcome. And even when you get to the goal, more often than not, you set another goal. It's not the goal you wanted. It's not. Once you arrive somewhere, invariably, it's only a stopping place. So a goal is just a signpost. It's just a mark on the journey. So how would you go about setting goals? That's another good question. How do you define what's important? Gosh, I've been running around the houses on this one. I've looked at all sorts of things about how to define what's important. I guess one of the things about it really, and this is one of the things that was missing from my conversation with myself this morning, is about finding joy. What makes you feel good? Because if a goal doesn't make you feel good, if the journey towards the goal doesn't make you feel good, what's the point of doing it? Why put yourself through absolute pain and hardship to achieve something you don't want? Or even when you get there, you're not going to be that inspired by it. It's interesting. I'm going to kind of bring this back into one of the subjects that I have a push-me-pull relationship with. Marathon running is the thing. Running generally. And I would like to run a marathon. But part of me struggles with the necessary things to do in order to run that marathon. I'm not a young man as I was. And so for me to do that marathon will take more effort than someone younger. And yet there is an interest. There is. I kind of touch that goal, and I kind of draw back from it occasionally. It would be a nice idea. And towards the latter part of 2020, I was upping my running distances. And I can now run 10k pretty easily, and I did a couple of 15s. And I suspect that's what will happen, or maybe not. I don't know. Still working on it. Still looking at the process. And maybe that will be one of my goals for this year. But it's not going to be I'm not going to put it in, I'm not going to make it as such a hard goal. It will be something that I might do. It would be awesome. It would be nice if I could achieve it. I do like Karen Dark, one of our podcast guests. She's a Paralympian. She has the "Wouldn't it be awesome?" And for her, that is a big thing for her. She puts it down like, wouldn't it be awesome if? And it's like, it is a goal, but it's a kind of a soft goal. But at the same time, she moves towards it. So if you are looking at your life at the moment and you want to kind of think about how to move it forward and you're not quite sure what goals to put down, well, clearly the one process that everyone seems to talk about is to break it down and do a kind of life spiral where you look at the various aspects of your life and see what's working and what's not working. So you might break it down. I mean, I've got a list here that you could use, like health and fitness. Where do you want to be in health and fitness in 2021? For me, I'm pretty healthy. I'm pretty fit. The idea of doing a marathon does have a certain thing to it. The idea of getting that healthy, that fit to be able to do it is quite impressive. I wonder what happens when I move beyond that. When I stop doing the marathon, does that mean I have to keep up that kind of level of training? There's thoughts there really. What sort of damage am I going to do to my body in the process? These are things I need to cover myself really. But health and fitness is something for me. Spirituality or spiritual. What's my spiritual thing going to be this year? Well, we did the event last year, spirituality, and I have to say I got in touch with some stuff about spirituality which I had never realised, I had never considered before. And that's not about religion. That is about how I connect with humanity, with myself, with my purpose, with the world. Interesting stuff there. What goals would I put around that? Now, a goal like that might be daily meditation. It might be meditating once a week. It might be something, it doesn't have to be kind of heavy hard. It can just be doing something towards that. Career is an interesting one. We all got that one, haven't we? Because most people's careers have gone into free fall over the last year. Or certainly they've either gone up or down in the last year. And most people are looking at what's next in their career. Where do they want to be in terms of what is it they're going to do? Only you know what goal you would set in that. But like all these things that we're talking about here, whether it be relationships, finance, intellectual, parenting, quality of life, emotional stuff, social, life vision, purpose, character, all these things have potentials to put goals on them. And if you really want them to make them work as a goal, it is quite good to get prescriptive, to get tight on what that goal looks like. For my training aspect, I might say I am going to commit to running 3 times a week. I'm not sure I am, but that might be one way of doing it. Set something down. But here's the thing that I think that makes the difference. It's how you treat yourself when you don't achieve the goal. Because creating a goal that then becomes a stick to beat you with is not an effective use of this process. If it's there to make you feel bad about yourself, then don't do it. Set goals that are a stretch, but also make it possible to do them. If you set loads of goals which you're never going to achieve, by the end of January, any idea of achieving anything will probably stop. And that's why resolutions don't work. People do not set themselves up well for resolutions. They do not set them. I know it's the time of year for it, but people set impossible opportunities for themselves, impossible schedules and things for themselves, when in reality it's the journey that's important. And if you set up an impossible schedule for yourself, all you're going to end up proving is that you can't do impossible schedules. So I would say go easy with yourself. Pick maybe 3 or 4 things out of the list of areas of your life that you would like to change, and do one simple goal in each of those areas. Pick something small that you could achieve in each of those areas that would make you feel good and you would enjoy the process. And when you do that, then goals start becoming easier. And when you've achieved those, pick some more. Move in the general direction of where you want to be, but do it in bite-sized pieces. And yes, if you feel confident enough to set a massive goal, all well and good, as long as it doesn't become the stick to beat yourself up when you don't achieve it. That is my tuppence worth on resolutions to goal or not to goal. And yes, I will be doing something along those lines, but I will always take care of myself, and I will always do it in such a way that makes me feel good. Anyway, that's my Sunday reflection for today. I hope you're doing something that makes you feel good, and I will be with you again later this week. There'll be a podcast coming out this week. There's a Sunday reflection next week, and there's all sorts of things that are going to be happening over the podcast over the next few weeks, but I'm not setting them as goals. I'm just telling you that things are changing. All the best. Thanks for listening.